A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a surprising announcement that has sent ripples through the international community, U.S. President Donald Trump declared the lifting of sanctions on Syria during a speech in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. This bold move comes as part of his administration's efforts to foster a new relationship with the war-torn nation, which has been under strict U.S. sanctions for over a decade. Speaking to a packed hall of business leaders and dignitaries, Trump stated, "I will be ordering the cessation of sanctions against Syria in order to give them a chance at greatness." The declaration was met with applause, particularly from the de facto Saudi ruler, Mohammed bin Salman, who expressed his gratitude with a heartfelt gesture. The lifting of sanctions marks a significant shift in U.S. policy towards Syria, which has been embroiled in conflict since 2011. The sanctions were initially imposed to weaken the regime of Bashar al-Assad, who has been widely criticized for human rights violations and brutal crackdowns on dissent. Critics of the sanctions have long argued that they disproportionately affect the Syrian populace, leaving ordinary citizens to bear the brunt of economic hardship while the ruling elite continue to thrive. Trump's announcement comes at a pivotal moment, as Syria is now under new leadership following the overthrow of Assad's regime by the militant group Hayat Tahrir al-Sham (HTS). The group's leader, Ahmad al-Sharaa, previously known as Abu Muhammad al-Jolani, is set to meet with Trump on Wednesday in what could be a landmark meeting aimed at establishing international legitimacy for the new government. This unexpected policy reversal is part of Trump's four-day tour of the Gulf region, marking the first major foreign trip of his second term. Notably, Saudi Arabia was also the first stop during his initial term, highlighting the significance of the U.S.-Saudi relationship. In his speech, Trump emphasized the need for stability in Syria, stating, "In Syria, which has seen so much misery and death, there is a new government that will hopefully succeed in stabilizing the country and keeping peace." That's what we want to see in Syria. They've had their share of travesty, war, killing many years. The implications of lifting sanctions are vast. Supporters of the decision argue that it could pave the way for humanitarian aid and economic recovery in Syria, potentially alleviating the suffering of millions who have been affected by the ongoing conflict. However, critics warn that this move could legitimize a government that has a history of violence and repression. As the world watches closely, the outcome of Trump's meeting with al-Sharaa could set the tone for future U.S.-Syria relations and influence the geopolitical landscape in the Middle East. This development raises questions about the U.S. commitment to human rights and the moral implications of engaging with a regime that many view as oppressive. In conclusion, President Trump's announcement to lift sanctions on Syria is a bold and controversial step that could reshape the dynamics of the region. As the new Syrian government seeks to establish itself on the world stage, the international community will be keenly observing how this policy shift unfolds and what it means for the future of Syria and its people. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.